All right, cool. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Today we're talking about business planning. It's that time of year again when historically things start to slow down as we get to the holidays, and it's a good time to think about business planning and putting a plan in place for 2026. I wrote down a few things here to kind of kick us off. It's important to me as part of business planning to not only set your goals for the new year, but in order to do so, to me, the starting point's kind of assessing what you did for last year, what goals you set, taking a look at where you've been to determine where you'd like to go and where you'd like to be. Um, as part of that, you got to look at, what business practices worked and what didn't work. Um, Analyze what changes are occurring in the industry. I think we can all agree right now things are definitely changing. Um, Inventory's picking back up, days on market are on the rise, and things are taking a little bit longer to sell. We're not seeing the crazy multiple offers like we were in the past 3 or 4 years. As Brian Buffini mentioned in his bold predictions this year, levels for inventory are at basically 2019 levels. So we're kind of headed back to this somewhat, if you want to call it normalcy or a normal market. But all these things need to go into consideration when you're making your plan here for 2026. With all these things in consideration, it's best for your business plan to set goals not only for income and transactions, but also personally as well. That might be, a family vacation you want to go on, a big purchase that you want to make, but it's also to think about investment too. While you got the train rolling down the tracks, as my uncle and grandfather always say, it's good to not only invest in real estate, but other investment vehicles, but also invest in yourself. So as part of your plan, attend a seminar this coming year, get into coaching, talk to my uncle, talk to Kong, and get into some of the personal coaching that we have available to you. Once you finalize your goals, to me, the most important part of that business plan is setting a schedule that helps you meet those goals. It gives you the structure and the roadmap that you need to get the activities done that are going to help generate the business to meet the goals you put in place. Include the things like lead generation, prospecting, door knocking, pop buys, handwritten notes, um, the social events. We here at the office provide a couple of those throughout the year, and we like to help out with the ice cream socials, the photos with Santa cookies, and ornament making. So use those to your advantage throughout the year. Put your vacations in there and seminars. But that's kind of the general ideas I wanted to bring up to kind of kick this thing off. I'll hand it over to my uncle here. Do you want to give us some of your thoughts on business planning for this year?
Yeah, actually, I do. And first of all, I'd like to welcome some of our new agents that we have with us here today. If you're looking at the screen, we've got Chris Schellenberger, also known as Chris Kelly, on the screen. Chris was with us for a number of years. You can unmute yourself, Chris. I'm not sure how many years were you with us? Eight or so years. And then she had went on and become a manager for a number of years at Berkshire Hathaway. Along with Chris is her daughter, Kelly. Kelly can wave to us. Hi, Kelly. And Jessica. So welcome back to Remax First Advantage. We're glad to have you home. And for Kelly and Jessica, we can't wait to watch you shine here at Remax. So that's what I wanted to say first of all. Business planning is something that if you're serious about building your business, it's something that you need to take seriously. It's definitely a roadmap to success. And it's something that I'm going to be telling you about a couple different ways of having a system for business planning. And then I'm going to actually ask Chris to tell us what Berkshire did and share with us what their form of business planning was. But, you know, there's people who have a book of what they want to do next year, and it's very complicated, and they spent lots of hours working on it. There's the simple business plan that I emailed to you today, which is a Mike Ferry system, which is just a two-page system, which kind of is a synopsis of where you were at this year, what your production goals are going to be next year, what your schedule is going to look like in order to achieve your goals, what you feel the major challenges and solutions are that are going to try to keep you from achieving your goals. We need to think about what those challenges are and what the solutions are to overcome them. And then the benefits that you're going to receive in 2026 by achieving your goals. So that's the Mike Ferry system of it. But I've been to seminars in the past, and I've talked to mentors of mine in the past, and you can use a simple 3x5 card too for your business plan. This 3x5 card can have what your income goal is, what your weight goal is, what your exercise goal is, what your investment goal is, whatever the goals are that you have, and keep it simple. Whatever they are, you can write those down on a business card and slip it into your pocket. Because one thing that a business plan needs to be is visible. It needs to be either posted in front of you or slipped into your pocket for you to keep. And the reason that is we often get into the grind of real estate and we don't feel like doing what we need to do today to achieve our goals. And if you have that posted in front of you on a board, or if you have that in your pocket of what your goals are, it will remind you that you need to do your prospecting. You need to do your lead follow-up. You need to go on appointments. You need to practice. You need to go to a seminar. Whatever your goals are, if you have them in front of you, it will keep you on track to do those things. You know, Brooks brought up a really good point with education. You know, 2026, we're going to have to renew our licenses. So people are going to have to start taking their continuing ed, and hopefully they take their continuing ed before May of next year so that they can renew their license on time. But not only can you take your continuing ed, you could go to, Bob, what's the thing that they have in Atlantic City every year?
Triple play.
Triple play.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
should have gotten a notice in your email about that. And we already, Aaron and I went down last year. We already have like 10 or 12 of our credits already that you get
right.
through there. So you can take the bulk of you could walk out of there with all your credits that you need for renewal next year.
So whether you go to Triple Play and take continuing ed or listen to some of the speakers and help educate yourself on the new tips and tricks that are out for 2026, that would be a good thing to go to. I think it's somewhere at the end of February, the beginning of March is the R4 convention. Okay. The R4 convention for Remax International, I'm pretty sure this year is in Vegas again. I think it's at the MGM Grand this year. But again, it's somewhere where you can go and listen to speakers and motivational speakers and educational speakers to try to learn from those seminars and help push you to achieve your goals next year. I'm a big proponent of attending either a Mike Ferry seminar or a Brian Buffini seminar or both. My goal next year is to probably do both, a Brian Buffini seminar and a Mike Ferry seminar. My goal is to hopefully attend this coming year the management retreat in California for Mike Ferry. That's the one that my father and I like the best. And unfortunately, he and I were going to try to attend it this year, but unfortunately, he passed basically a week before it took place. So we did not go. But my intention this year is to go to that Mike Ferry seminar. So, as part of your business plan and goal, please look for what type of educational seminars you're going to go to and help keep you motivated to achieve your 2026 goal. Out of curiosity, Chris, if you can unmute yourself a second, for a number of years you were motivating agents at Berkshire. What did you guys do, just to let us know, um, as far as a business plan to help predict what the future would be for your agents at that point in time?
Sure. This time of year is when all the business planning was done, and we meet with agents one-on-one. And the beginning is really knowing where you are right now and taking a look at that in the most realistic way, and then know where you want to head. Because if you don't know where you are, how do you move forward and get someplace else? And typically, I would say agents want to do two things when they're building business plans. Either they want to change their business to get more business or have more business, or they want to change their business to make business easier. So either one of those takes change. So knowing where you are first, looking at what production you've done this year, how you've sourced your business, and what you want to do, and what do you want to change in sourcing your business and changing your business to make your business more effective. Tim, you would definitely, we probably all know this. You can change your business by, they say statistically, 20% every year. So by year 5, whatever business you're doing now can be doubled, which that has always been super exciting to me. That if you think about young agents, or I don't mean young by age, but new people that are new to business, whatever they're doing, the possibilities of doubling their business by year 5. And that also becomes mile markers in everybody's business, to know that you can stay on a growth pattern, that you're, by year 5, if you double again in another 5 years, which is 10 years, that's pretty exciting. And that gives you something to really, plan for. So that's where we would start, is looking at exactly where you are right now. Where do you want to go? And also, we all know that tying your business goals to life goals is really what actually keeps people motivated. So kind of like what you're saying about carrying an index card, we did a lot of vision board planning, so we would do vision board seminars and everybody get together, because tying not just the business goals, tying them to things that are life goals, like you even said, like weight loss, or if there's things that you want to change in life, or vacations you want to go on, having that daily visual to look at is really can be very motivating to people, so you don't forget why you're doing what you're doing.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bob, you're very organized, high producing. I know you have a plan. How do you develop what your goals are going to be for the next year? How do you envision where you want to take your business? Unmute.
There I
There
am.
we go.
Well, it just like, you got to figure out what you need to budget to bring in everything, and then you need to break it down. Like, I sent you the quick little email this morning because I was like reviewing what you were putting down about somebody who wants to make $120,000 a year. You broke it down to $6,000 a sale. That's 20 sales a year. But I said you got to break it down further. That's 1.66 sales a month. So round it up. So that's 2 sales a month that somebody needs to get at 6,000. But then you got to break down the 6,000. What does that equate to? Is that a 3% commission, a 2.5% commission, a 2% commission? You know, what's that price range? You got to break it down to. But then if you're like, well, hey, I want to make 240,000, but I only want to still do the 2 sales a month. So you got to figure out which arena do you need to be in. Is it then you'll have to jump up to going from about a $250,000 arena to a $500,000 arena, still doing the same amount of sales. So everything is numbers. It's just you got to break it down where you want to be. How many sales you want? You want to light the world on fire and do 10 sales a month, but then which arena are you going to be in? Are you going to be in a $100,000 arena, a $200,000 arena, $300,000 arena? Where are you going to be? But that's, for us, it's just breaking it down, because back in everybody was like, oh, you did back in 2010, I did 288 sales. And everybody's like, wow, that's crazy. Yeah, but it's just like at the end of the day, we were probably averaging about I think each sale I think was worth a little over $1,500. It's not a whole lot, but that was a heck of a lot of work for a little bit of money. When you could have been, if you broke it down the other way, making the same amount of money, somebody could have said, hey, I went out and did 15 sales and made the same amount of money. So you just have to break everything down where you want to be.
Good. And as far as analyzing expenses and those things go, there's different things that you can do. Number one, is there anybody on the call that's currently investing in Zillow leads? Kara, do you invest in Zillow leads? Okay. So if you can unmute yourself. When you're planning next year and you're planning where you want to take your business and your team next year, are you looking at what you're currently spending and whether or not your return on your investment on those Zillow leads is worth it? Or are you looking to increase that budget, or are you looking to decrease it? How are you analyzing your expenses when it comes to purchasing leads?
I ask the team to track it. I hand out all the buyer leads from Zillow, and then I ask them to track to see what are we actually getting from it. Of course, it puts you in front of a lot of people, right? I mean, Zillow, but does it result in any income? If not, then it's not valuable to me. So we have this year really been taking a look at it, and I've been asking, please track, please let me know what you're getting from both Zillow as well as Realtor.com.
Okay. So is anybody using, like, we all probably get text messages 2 times a day from everybody and their brother that wants to sell us a lead, or a lead source where, they'll give us leads for a 25% referral or a 30% referral or a 15% referral. Has anybody taken advantage of any of those programs out there and have had success with it? Or is everybody avoiding those messages and deleting them? Anybody want to respond on that? Nope. Okay.
I get those messages, Tim, but I delete them.
You delete them. So do I.
I've not taken advantage of them. Yeah. So I can't, I don't know if they're valid or not.
Mm-hmm. Shelley, if you don't mind unmuting yourself again, you have had a couple really great years, the last couple years with our company. And every year you seem to be frustrated because of where you're at, and then where you end up is always at a really good number. But with those frustrations, we talk about that stuff weekly, don't we?
Yes.
And we talk about reminding you that as part of your goal, what you have to do is always get back to basics. And when you first came to the company and you went back to all of your past customers and you notified them with handwritten notes about making the move to the RE/MAX First Advantage office, that sparked a lot of business for you. And recently we've talked about that too. And I think you're back on track with writing those handwritten notes again, right?
Yes, I started doing that again. You always have to go, for me, I always have to go back to the basics. I send out emails, text people, I do the handwritten notes. The ice cream social was amazing. I love that. Um, there's my grandson, he's an artist, so he does my t-shirts. He did tumblers for me and a couple other little things, and I've been able to hand them out. I think that's really made a big difference. I never had a company tell me to set a goal. So setting goals for me is I need to do better at that. Um, I would always have in my mind what I thought I wanted to make, but like Bob was saying, I never put the numbers together. I never figured out how many people and what price range and all that. But I would just continually work, send out cards, make phone calls to try to get to that end result. So
Yeah.
I just need to do better. I need you to help me with that.
So we are closing out at the end of September right now, but what we have to remember is we're only 3/4 through the year. We still have another quarter to go to complete this year before we ever even get to 2026. So back to what we were talking about, Shelley, with the handwritten cards and the notices and those type of things. What do we have coming up in the future here that we could be notifying our past customers and centers of influence of in order to close out this year? Well, we're going to have a time change soon. We're going to have Thanksgiving. We're going to have Christmas. You know, I lost one of my dear friends this past week, Mary Eberly. And Mary Eberly was an icon in this business. But I learned a lot from Mary Eberly over the years. And one of the things that Mary Eberly would do is she would start right now handwriting Christmas cards to be sent out to all of her past clients. And she would do like 10 of them a night so that by the time it got to Christmas and she mailed the cards out, they all got a handwritten card, not a postcard from Mary Eberly. And I went to a seminar one time with Mary Eberly years ago in the 90s, and it was a Rick Willis seminar, and she invested into a postcard program back then, and it was a jumbo postcard. And for anybody that knew Mary Eberly, she would send out these jumbo postcards every other month to her customers. And I used to give her a hard time and always say, Mary, do you realize how much more business you could do if you just followed up with a phone call with those past customers? She didn't need to do that because when we were all selling $200,000 houses, Mary Eberly was selling $500,000 houses. And she was getting 17 or 18 deals a year from that consistent every other month jumbo postcard program that she made as part of her business plan to send out each year, as well as to give those handwritten cards at Christmas time. So the reason that again I'm bringing this up is we still have one more quarter to go this year, which means we have 3 more months that we've got to work hard so we can finish out this year strong. And with that, it's time to get back to basics, contact your past clients, contact your centers of influence, handwrite some cards, make some phone calls to them, touch base with them. If you want to send out a generic postcard, send one out of whenever the change in time date is coming. Spring ahead, fall behind. So that's going to happen probably here in the near future. Stay in touch with these people. Is Kong still on the call here or is he
I don't
off?
think so.
I don't see. He must have dropped off. Anybody else have anything they want to add to business planning and goals? Brent, you and I talked this morning on the phone about all the business that you are hoping to get within this next quarter. Do you have a goal for next year in your head? And do you have any ideas of what you're going to do differently to tweak it to achieve it?
Yes, I mean, I do have it in my head. I do not have it on paper as of yet, or haven't talked about it other than to you. And that's something I have to do is I do want to put it on paper. So we here, both Alyssa and Brenna and everybody is aware of the goal, so we can all work together to achieve that. So just got to get it on paper so we can make it reality.
Okay, good. Anybody else have anything they want to contribute? Tom, you've been in the business for a long time. You're working in a much higher price range than most of us are. What are you going to do this year in 2026 differently to maybe expose some of your developments and the builders that you are representing in order to try to drive more traffic to your developments?
Well, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I, with the developments, I've just got all new photos taken, drone and videos of the developments. Now's a good time of year to start doing when spring comes here to ramp it up and send out probably about 10,000 EDDMs I send out to communities to try to strum up some business there with that. But going back, I just want to touch back with what Bob had talked about the numbers. We got everyone. We have to know our numbers. Been in this business a long time, and all of us who've been there. If you look at when I look at my expenses every year, they all seem to be about the same. They haven't changed a whole lot throughout the years with all the advertising and the stuff that you do. So you got to know that number and where you got to go. And if that doesn't motivate you to hit that number, you got to think about the taxes you got to pay. So we work so hard and so long just to pay our expenses and taxes before we start making a profit. So you've got to get on it, like you said, right now. Start thinking about next year. And I know Joe will be doing and I'll be doing
The pie.
Thanksgiving, the pie thing, which is a very, what do we spend there, Joe? Maybe $400 or $500, I think it costs to give out the pies and get those people face to face. It's a great way to get rolling for next year already, but you just got to keep consistent, keep doing your mailings. Next year, personally, I would like to, I got to get this CRM rolling and do these automatic texts and emails to all my clients. I need to get that done. I've been saying I want to do that so I can touch them, immediately with a text, a group text, group email, just so much easier. So that's a goal I think that I definitely want to try to achieve to strum up more business.
Okay.
But know your numbers.
Yep. Joe, Tom brought you in. I know you've been doing this pie thing for years. How many pies do you anticipate giving out this year?
Probably in the neighborhood. I mean, I invite all of my past customers to come, so I'm sending out, invitations in excess of, 500, and I might get 100 yeses, and then there's the number that actually show, and then I get in my car and then I deliver them if they didn't show, and it gives me an excuse to go to their house and get in their house and say, hey. So yeah, that's a great this time of year. I mean, we're all saying the same thing over and over again. This time of year is a great way to build towards quarter one and quarter two. Because like what you're doing now down the road, it comes to fruition in 6 months. If you have, so it takes that long. Like if someone says, I want to sell my house now, you're not selling it tomorrow unless it's, a gift from the gods that falls out of the sky. We're talking it's 6 months of work and preparation. But I think some of the other things that people have said here that's really important is consistency. Um, Doing the things consistently every day and doing the things you're supposed to do every day. So you have the consistency. Um, and that's one of the things I'm striving to be better at. Uh, there's been we all have things in our personal lives that can get you off track, but you gotta get back on track and get back on the horse no matter what the situation is. And so being consistent with communicating with your database, your customers, asking for referrals, that's what it's all about. I mean, I personally will not spend a nickel on leads. Um, if I'm doing my job, I don't have to. That's just a personal preference that I have. So yeah, to answer your question, Tim, uh, the Thanksgiving is a great excuse to get in front of people and say hello to your customers and being consistent and building for quarter 1 and 2 of next year.
Good advice.
And another thing I wanted to just throw out there for those, I found this to be helpful way to talk to some people. If you know some of your clients that are thinking about putting a home on the market the first quarter next year, your second quarter, now's a good time to reach out and get photos this fall when there's stuff still green, leaves are changing colors. Because if you put stuff on the market, we know and it's gray, it's snowy, it's ugly out. Now's a good time to say, hey, if you're thinking about it, let's get the photos now. Number one, gets you locked into them, and it gets you a jump start for marketing when it comes next year. But just thinking ahead, so you get a better photo out there. You're not showing a home that's all gray and dirty snow outside, and just it's still a good time this fall to get good pictures for next year.
Yep. Good advice. Anybody else have anything they want to add? Aaron, did you want to tell people about, again, for those that weren't on the call in the beginning, to let them know about Brooks running for the board and how we'd appreciate their support in trying to get a vote for Brooks?
Yeah, so super exciting. Brooks has decided to run for a seat on the GHAR board of directors. When I say that he decided, I think everybody kind of pressured him, but he happily has done it. I think it's super cool. I think that he's going to be a great asset to have on the board, and I just think that it gets us out in front of more people and agents and everything. So there's going to be online voting. You can do it in person at the trade fair, which is on October 8th. And you can also stop in the GHAR office. So anybody that's a member of GHAR can vote. You can only vote once. But I think it's really important that everybody here that's able to at least go online and vote for him. I'm going to share something. I'm going to create something on Canva. Let's share it on Facebook. Let's really try and promote him. I know he loves all the attention, so the more the better. I said, let's go on a campaign trail. So, but yeah, so yeah, let's just support him. And if you have any questions, let me know. But yeah, we'll be sending out something in the next day or two and then starting to share stuff.
Okay, good. Thank you. Brooks, anything final you want to bring up before we close it out?
No, I think it was a great call altogether. This is definitely important stuff that we all need to be thinking about. Thank you guys for, thinking of me with this board of directors thing. This isn't something that I really sought after, but I got a call from some people within GHAR and they wanted me to run in Poppy for a long time, wanted us to get more involved and give back. And I just thought it was a timely way to honor his legacy and do something for him and give back too. So I appreciate your support. And again, it was a great call and looking forward to the next one.
Yep. And then again, I sent out these business plans to you. Anybody that would like to schedule a private meeting with me, either by in person or Zoom, to go over it, please let me know. And other than that, have a great day. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll see you next week.